Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching SAMAA News. Here are today's headlines.
President Donald Trump has dismissed reports that Washington and Iran have stopped communicating, calling them false. In a social media post, Trump said talks are continuing continuously and renewed his call for Tehran to reach a deal, saying the time has come to resolve the long-running dispute. He also acknowledged that no one knows where the ongoing talks with Iran may lead, but said it is time for Tehran to make a deal. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that Washington has not offered sanctions relief to Iran in exchange for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Testifying before Congress, Rubio said any easing of sanctions would depend on Tehran giving up its nuclear activities and complying with a future agreement.
Iran has not yet responded to the latest proposals from the United States, with consultations still underway to finalize a draft response. According to Iranian media reports, Tehran has not yet sent any official response to the United States regarding the new proposals currently under discussion. The report said consultations are continuing within Iran to finalize the draft and determine the country's position before a formal reply is issued. The ongoing deliberations suggest that Tehran is taking a cautious approach as negotiations move forward. Lebanon has announced a partial ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel in what would amount to a limited de-escalation of the conflict. According to Lebanon's embassy in Washington, the agreement would not end the conflict in that country, but it calls for Israel to refrain from strikes on Beirut and its suburbs controlled by Hezbollah, while the Iran-aligned group would halt its attacks on Israel. However, hostilities in southern Lebanon continued. The Israeli military said that it intercepted 2 projectiles that crossed from Lebanon into northern Israel and that no injuries were reported.
Israeli occupation forces killed at least 3 people in separate attacks across Gaza Strip. The incidents included a strike on a displacement site, an attack on a vehicle, and a reported drone strike that also injured several people. Residents say the attacks have intensified, adding to fear and uncertainty across the territory. Iran says its online application system for vessel passage through the Strait of Hormuz is now fully open, allowing ship owners worldwide to request transit permits around the clock. Iranian authorities also say 24 vessels passed through the strategic waterway in the past 24 hours under coordination and protection from the IRGC Navy. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says its forces remain on the highest level of alert and are fully prepared for any scenario. IRGC spokesman Sadr Mohebi rejected U.S. claims that Iran's military capabilities have been weakened and insisted Tehran maintains full control over the Strait of Hormuz. President Donald Trump has appointed Bill Pult as acting director of national intelligence. Pult, who currently oversees federal housing finance programs, will now temporarily lead America's intelligence community following the departure of Tulsi Gabbard.
The US is discussing whether to deploy nuclear weapons in additional European NATO states. The Financial Times reported that US officials have signaled openness to additional deployments beyond the existing 6 countries hosting nuclear-capable bombers. The move would involve more countries to host so-called US dual-capable aircraft, which are able to deliver nuclear strikes, while cautioning that an agreement to expand US nuclear hosting was not imminent. Russian drones and missiles have pounded Ukrainian cities such as Kyiv and Dnipro, killing at least 18 people and wounding about 100. According to the capital's mayor, photographs showed large explosions and plumes of smoke billowing over high-rise buildings in Kyiv, where overnight strikes killed 4 people and wounded 58, including children. A suspected missile strike on a 24-story apartment building triggered a collapse, leaving people probably trapped under the rubble, while a 9-story apartment block was among other buildings set ablaze by suspected missile debris.
The Kremlin says it still prefers a peaceful resolution to the war in Ukraine, but will continue military operations unless Kyiv engages in what Moscow calls genuine peace talks. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov made the remarks after Russia launched major overnight strikes on Ukrainian cities, while insisting Moscow remains open to negotiations. And a new report by Bonn International Center for Conflict Studies says that global displacement has reached a record high, with more than 117 million people currently forced from their homes. The study points to conflict, economic hardship, and climate-related disasters as major drivers, with nearly 30 million people displaced by extreme weather events in 2025 alone.
That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching SAMAA News.